Hey, Eastern Oregon, welcome to this March 5th version of AM Live on EOA. Your connection to Eastern Oregon, and we're also on the EOA network. And here in just a bit, we're going to have special guest Hunter Sparks, who is the new NAIA wrestling champion.
125 pounds.
125 pounder
Yeah.
from
Roseburg.
EOU.
Yeah. He grew up in Roseburg.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah.
BC, I didn't have a light in my bathroom today, and I had to shave in the dark. I was running a little late, so I was like, oh, I got to shave today. I go to turn the light on. No, and it's one of those ones where you got to like unscrew all the screws to get the cover off.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't got time for that. So I had my phone kind of tilted with the light, and I was like trying to shave in the dark. Yeah, it was a mess.
Well, you didn't cut yourself.
No. Yeah, but I just used an electric shaver.
Oh, did you?
I wasn't about to try to like straight edge it. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, shower and shave in the dark this morning. But I made it.
There you go.
I got through it.
That's right.
Diversity builds character,
That's for sure.
right?
Yeah.
I'll make sure and try to remember to change that because, like, you know what I mean. Like, I don't really turn the light on
Right.
during the day to
Yeah.
go in the bathroom. Very, very rarely.
Right.
So I just need to like put a reminder in my phone, like, hey, change the light bulb so tomorrow when you wake up, you don't go through the same thing.
Yeah. It's so frustrating how that those little teeny things will happen when you're in a hurry. You know.
Yeah,
I mean,
it couldn't happen when I'm home for a couple hours. No,
Yeah.
it happens when I'm trying to be here by 6:30 and it's like 10 after 6.
yeah. Well, so yesterday we had a friend whose car broke down and he needed to borrow one of our cars. Okay. And so I took him home, took him to our house to get the car, and that car wouldn't start. Okay. And so this is funny, okay? And so we have a really nice. It's a Cadillac that was actually given to us by Tanya's mom when she passed away.
I've ridden it. I've ridden it before.
Yeah. Well, we don't. It's our Sunday car. It's ridiculous. Well, I don't know why we have a Sunday car. Anyhow, so it's yeah. Okay. So then I take him to Tanya's work, and I'm going to give him the Subaru that she's driving, not the Sunday car. You know, and it won't start. And so she'd have been, so she'd have been stranded there had I not figured it out. Yeah, so somehow the battery had run down during the day. Yeah, and so
That's
finally,
just bad luck.
yeah, and so finally I just took him back home and like, dude, I'm sorry, I'll have to bring you a car tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah, and so all of a sudden this hour and a half out of the middle of my day when didn't really have it, but
It feels like a second Monday today too.
does it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, it really does.
Alrighty, well, hey,
Let's do sports real
yeah,
fast.
let's do it.
AM Sports Report brought to you by Northwest Furniture and Mattress. Big Red Rocking Chair on Elm, off Adams in LeGrand. Go check out their showroom, man. The Daggett family, they do a lot for this community, including sponsor my sports show, and it's much appreciated. They have pretty much all American furniture, great selection of mattresses, recliners, everything for your home. They want to make you comfortable in your own home. Let's see here. LHS boys and girls basketball seasons are done. The boys lost on Friday at Cascade 74-34, and then the girls lost at home against Marist Catholic 36-30 on Saturday. So we are officially in high school around here in the spring sports season. Baseball, softball. What else is in spring? Tennis. I don't really pay too much. Tennis is not really my game. I mean, I'll follow it if we have like somebody that's like doing really well. But EOU track and field indoor season's over as well. We ended up with 3 All-Americans. Mark Church got 6th in the hammer. Judson Madsfield got 8th in the heptathlon, and Tanner Nett got 6th in the shot put. Congratulations to those guys. EOU women's wrestling will be in Jamestown, North Dakota this weekend for nationals. 5 Mounties qualified for nationals for the women's team. Paige Chafin, Anna Rodriguez, Trinity Tafoya, Irma Rotano, and Liv Weber all qualified. Irma and Liv sat down with me, and they're going to be on the sports show tomorrow. So check that out tomorrow at 5:30. EOU baseball lost all 4 this weekend to OIT. The thing that sucks is we had an Eastern Oregon weekend. They had to play in Pendleton because of weather, and I'm not exactly sure why, but that's terrible for home games. You essentially lose home games. We already struggle getting people to come out to these baseball games, right?
Yeah.
And then to move them to Pendleton, nobody's going. You know,
Right.
maybe family members, and that's
Yeah.
it. And that sucks for this baseball team because this baseball team has a good chunk of momentum on their side right now, and they're good. They're better.
Yeah.
And people are going to start supporting them if they start winning. And it's hard to win when you have to play your home games over the mountain.
Yeah.
EOU softball played here, though, so I don't really understand. They took 2 out of 3 from the #1 team in the country, OIT. Pitching gems by Kaylee Hoskins and Kylie Parsons. Both of them had really good games in the first 2 games. In the first game, Gates Leatherwood had a walk-off home run in the bottom of the 8th. They were down 1-0, and she hit a 2-run homer to walk it off. And then in the second game, EOU just comes out crushing the ball, right? And this was on Saturday, and they postponed the game after the first inning to Sunday.
Okay.
EOU's up 4-0 after 1. They end up winning that game 10-0. And Parsons, the new pitcher, she threw like a 2-hit shutout. It was awesome. I mean, anytime you beat OIT at home, anytime you beat OIT in softball, period, it's a great day. And then unfortunately in the third game, EOU had a run on the board late in the game. OIT came back and stole the third one, but still, you get 2 out of 3 from the #1 team in the country. That's a good weekend. They were the CCC Team of the Week as well, which was cool, which that graphic showed. That's courtesy of Eastern Oregon Athletics. The EOU men's wrestling team got 12th at Nationals, which I think is exactly the same as last year, or really close. Kyle Knudsen got the second All-American in his career, coming in 8th. And then Hunter Sparks, who's going to be our guest today, brought home the Natty. And we'll talk about that more when we have Hunter on the show. AM Sports Report brought to you by Northwest Furniture and Mattress. Go check them out. They want to make you comfortable in your own home.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, hey, let's take a look outside.
What's it look like out there? It's not horrible.
No.
When I looked outside the first time, I can just see the tops of the cars, I'm like, oh no, because all I saw was snow.
Yeah.
And then I got out there and I was like, okay, we can deal
Yeah.
with this.
It looks a little dark, though. I mean, maybe it's going to. So what's the weather?
Let's look at the forecast.
What's the forecast today?
No, it don't look like any snow.
Yeah.
Which is
30%
good.
chance, but not
It's
much.
warming up at night too. Tomorrow it's going to stay cold, and tonight. But look, as we move into the weekend, it's going to get a little warmer.
Get a little warmer.
and then nighttime, which is good because that means then your car's not frozen in the morning.
Yeah. There are moments that it kind of feels like spring a little bit, which
I'm okay with that. I mean, it is spring sports season.
I know.
But like the first month and a half of around here is like snow.
It's spotty.
And crappy weather. Yeah. Like you almost have to have a dome to play baseball in here. That would be awesome.
Yeah. So we're having,
sweet.
Facebook is having problems today. And you guys may have, if you're watching, hopefully you found us today. If not, the show will be later available on Facebook once it gets going again, and then we get it uploaded and so on and so forth.
Well, the people that watch us on Facebook definitely didn't find us because I don't think anybody can get on Facebook right now.
Yeah, no, it's So hopefully they.
And usually, we have a pretty loyal group that watches on Facebook. So I wonder if they figured it out.
Where they're at, yeah.
I don't think. I don't want to judge, but I don't know if our viewers would be able to circumnavigate that.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe Bud, maybe my armchair quarterback.
Yeah, there is. Let's see. I don't have. Yeah, so we have 7 viewers right now live on YouTube,
which is way more than we normally have.
So
somebody figured it out because we don't.
There is
YouTube's
a chat box there. If somebody wants to chat there, you can.
Well, it's a good thing that I got questions on my Instagram yesterday for our guest because usually they would come in, in the morning, and I put out a story yesterday asking people for questions for them. So
yeah,
good
deal. Yeah, normally YouTube is just not the platform that people find our stuff.
No,
except later when they're looking for it. So
I kind of look at it like our backup, even though I wish it was our forefront.
Yeah.
It is what it is, though.
So, Well, hey, so take us to the commercial.
All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to be joined by 2024 125-pound men's wrestling NAIA national champion, two-time All-American. I mean, the list goes on and on. Most outstanding wrestler in the NAIA this year. He's been on my show a few times. He was just on my show a couple weeks ago, actually. Hunter Sparks is going to be right here in the studio when we come back from the break.
Eastern Oregon is full of interesting people, with interesting minds and interesting things to say. Here at EO Live, we're committed to connecting you to these intriguing people with EO Talks. We let our special guests share their ideas and life experiences with deep, open, engaging, and inquisitive conversations. You'll also be informed in depth on some of the most recent and relevant events, issues, and more. EO Talks on EO Live, your connection to Eastern Oregon, now on Roku.
When you say that, we come back, okay. So right there, we're going to see a video of that.
So what you saw right there was Hunter Sparks winning the 2024 CCC championship, which is the second in a row. And man, it's my honor to have him in here. Like, I've had him on my show a couple times, and I was just going to do a regular sports show with him, and then I realized, like, why not do the AM show? Hunter Sparks, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
All right, let's ask the most important question. Where are you at mentally right now? Like, you good?
Yeah, it's been a ride. It still doesn't really feel all too real. It's pretty awesome though. It's a lot to take in. It's a goal I've had for since I started getting good at wrestling, and finally kind of got it done. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. I just gotta thank God for it. It's been amazing.
What's going through your head when that hand goes up in front of those people? And
finally. Yeah. That was it. Finally. I mean, it was a whirlwind that whole end of the match too. There was a lot of stuff kind of going on with challenges and everything. There was one part where they said I won, and I mean, I dropped to my knees. I started crying. Like, I was so excited, but 3 seconds later I look up and there's already another challenge brick, and so it was a whirlwind of emotions, but at the end of it, I got to put my hands in the air, number one, and celebrate with my coaches and teammates and my family, and it's.
What was the first message you got on your phone? The first notification.
So, my mom told me after, because I could feel it going off in my bag, just going crazy. And she said, just enjoy it. She's like, don't worry about it yet. So I really didn't check my phone until I got back to the hotel, probably 11:30 at night. So, when I did, there's probably about, I think there was like 83 text messages. I had about 30 something Instagram. Like, it was a lot. It took me a good day and a half just to try to respond to everything.
I waited a day. I waited until the next day to text you. Like, I wasn't gonna. I knew your phone was.
It was pretty crazy, but I mean, I can't. It's having that kind of support's just amazing. So
let's back it up a little bit. Let's go back to like your beginnings in wrestling. Like, where did it all start?
So. I mean, I was little. I was about 4 or 5 when I started. We used to live out in Lakeview, Oregon, just southeastern Oregon, and my dad got a job up in Roseburg with state government, and he wrestled in high school. My uncle wrestled for a little bit, but both my uncles did, and Roseburg was known to have a good program, and so like, let's try it out. And so I started Mat Club when I was about 4 or 5 years old, and just loved it. Hit the ball running. Evidently, as a little kid, started out pretty darn good, and so that was kind of where it started. So it's been a long ride.
According to your mom, somebody beat you, and that's what pushed you to stay with wrestling? Do you remember who it was? She told me, but I can't remember.
Oh, a lot of people have beaten me.
No, like one of your best friends, like when you were little.
Yeah, I mean, I had one of my drill partners. He would beat me in the room quite often, and then there was a kid from the Coos Bay area. He was kind of one of my rivals as a kid. I think that's who she's talking about. I'm not sure. Like
I
said,
can't get to Instagram right now, so I
know.
can't look.
There's
She was sending me messages, and
there's a lot of people that have beat me, and I don't like losing. So it definitely drove me. And then she beat me in the living room once or twice too. So that drove me a little bit too. I don't like losing to her either. So
So let's talk about like some of your accolades, like in high school. You know, what'd you do in high school?
so high school, that was really when I started kind of realizing like this is for me. Like I can do this. I think the first time I really had success was I think it was my 8th grade year. I got second at middle school state. And the same thing, I lost. I didn't like losing. We went to Wyoming on a national dual team for the middle school guys, and I don't think I won a match the whole time I was there. But I started taking wrestling a little more seriously and started doing freestyle Greco in the spring and summer instead of playing baseball. And it was schoolboy nationals in Utah. I ended up making the finals of that tournament in Greco, and that was really when the itch really started to come. Like this is pretty awesome. I like this. And so high school. My freshman year, I was tiny. I was about 94, 95 pounds, wrestling 106. I still managed to place at state, which was awesome. I got 6th place. Sophomore year, I made to the finals. Ended up winning that year against one of my best friends. He's from Newburgh. His name's Cody, and that was. I was asked this question the other day, like how does the state championship compare to this one? But when you're in high school, like that's your goal, and that was that same thing. It was surreal. It was amazing, and so I did that my sophomore year. Junior year, I made the finals again. I ended up losing in the junior year, and that one really hurt. Like I said, I don't like losing, and so came back senior year just on a roll, and ended up winning at my senior year. So I was a 3-time finalist, 2-time state champ.
So you lost in the finals in high school and in college. Mm-hmm. Gosh,
Both my junior year.
Both junior year, yeah. That's got to be hard, dude.
It's not fun.
But it is motivating because
Yes.
it obviously worked for you both times.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I wish there were other ways I could motivate myself.
Yeah, right.
But sometimes you gotta hit the lows to be able to get to the highs. And yeah, like I said, I mean, I didn't want to have that feeling again. When you get to watch that other guy get his hand raised, and you just got to walk off the mat, and everybody's cheering for the other guy.
And you're right there.
And yeah, you're basically experiencing that with them, and it's not a fun time. You'd much rather it be your hand getting raised, but you can use it. You turn around and use it.
So I have a question. Was there, when you were going through that, was there somebody that just really stuck out to you as a mentor, or somebody, I don't know, maybe there was somebody in the professional sports world that was like, man, I love how that person does stuff.
I mean, I've had so many mentor just in life and everything is Jesus. Like that's the biggest thing that's really carried me through all of this, is just really trusting my relationship with Christ and having that be my main goal. Mm-hmm. I had a couple interviews, and I mean, that was the main thing I could hit on. I said, and I'll say it again, is just the wrestling and the awards and everything. Like, it's fun, it's amazing, it's a cool experience, but I mean, none of that matters if you don't have that relationship with Christ. And so kind of having that as my main drive, and really just realizing that no matter what happens to me, I mean, whether I won that national championship or not, you know, God, I'm the same in God's eyes, and He's going to love me no matter what. And that's kind of that's the biggest mentor and kind of role model, I guess you could say, in my life. But then growing up, I mean, I've always looked up to my dad. In wrestling, we've had, I mean, he was a wrestling dad. We've definitely butt heads throughout, you know, my career, but just always having that family support. My high school coaches were huge influences. Steve Lander, Jake Spears. There's a coach. I think he's D2. I can't remember exactly what school he's at, but his name was Chase Jackson. He wrestled for Roseburg, and he was, at the time, he was not that great, but he just was a workhorse, just worked hard all the time, and his senior year of high school, he was able to get a state championship and move on and wrestle in college. He was a big role model of mine from Roseburg. Seth Thomas, he was another multi-time state champ, wrestled for Oregon State. Those guys were big role models in my life. Shoot, I mean, the list goes on. Josh Roden, Brett Sanchez, Rich Vigorito, those guys were they were my coaches when I was at Clackamas. They really helped kind of push me through some hard times and kind of helped me grow as a man. And yeah, I mean, the list goes on. I mean, wrestling's just one of those sports. I mean, everybody's awesome. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
What about, so one of the things that I consistently see, including from your mother, is you've been at what, 4 or 5 different colleges? 5?
4.
4.
Four colleges.
So we got
Cal
Poly, SWAC,
Clackamas,
Life, and EOU.
Eastern.
The most consistent thing I see is you've been the most happy at EOU.
Yes.
Why?
It goes back to the Christianity kind of brotherhood that we have, and we chasing that relationship with Christ, I think, really brings people together, and it helps us bond. And it's there's a verse, I think it's First Corinthians 9:25. If I can pull, I'm not good at pulling Bible verses off, but it talks about you know, all athletes compete, and they compete for a crown, but we're competing for an imperishable crown. And so that main goal is really, all these sports and all these things in life are amazing, but chasing that everlasting life and having, you know, getting to sit with God at the end of it all, like, that's truly what the end goal is. That's what we're training for. And just, we have that brotherhood. I mean, Azur's he's just amazing. I talked about it on our last interview, but like that communication aspect and just being able to really be open, be honest. There's nothing going on behind the scenes that is like super extracurricular or anything. It's just come in, put your head down, work, and just try to do the best you can every day.
And that's rare too.
It is.
In college athletics, that's super rare to have complete openness and nothing going on behind the scenes. It just doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, it really reminded me a lot of my high school program. Roseburg was a powerhouse. We had that same thing. Everybody wanted to be on the top, be the top guys, and so it was competitive in the mat room, which is a huge key component to being able to compete at these levels. Is you got to be tough in the mat room too. And so Eastern, it reminded me a lot of that camaraderie from Roseburg as well. So
nice. Well, I did some homework and I talked to some people, and the first thing I got is a video, and it's your easiest college win ever.
Oh,
Check
geez.
this out.
Open. That was Jason Shaner. He was my drill partner and one of my teammates there. He actually, so I was the second guy behind him that year. He ended up winning a national championship that year at 133 in JUCOs. He was my roommate also, so I mean he's one of my best friends, and
Was that predetermined?
It
Like,
was.
did you guys say, hey, if we both make the finals, we're Rochambeauing?
yeah, so we agreed on it beforehand. If we made the finals, usually we weren't going to wrestle just because it's early in the season.
Yeah, don't hurt each other.
Yeah, just preventing injuries, and so we decided we'd go out and we played rock paper scissors, and and it was pretty funny. We ended up actually meeting in the finals roughly a month later at the Spokane Open. But that one, I told him, I was like, okay, well, you let me win the other one by forfeit. So I ended up, he won the other one in Spokane when we met up. And for everybody listening, Jason Shaner too, he's making his MMA debut April 13th in Vancouver. So he's fighting now.
Nice.
He's a stud. He's probably one of the hardest workers I've ever met in my life too. He's an animal.
So next, I got some pictures from your girlfriend, from your mom, from your sister. We're gonna walk through them, and if you see one you want to comment about, let's talk about it.
This one.
Oh, slow that down.
Yeah,
Stop that, Benny. Stop. Yeah,
So
there
this
you go.
is I don't even know where it started. So that's my older sister. That's my younger brother. I'm not sure where it started, but for some reason, I think we were taking a picture and my brother was just being very awkward and just kind of had his arms out in that position. And so ever since then, we've always, anytime we're together at a tournament or any family occasion, we take a picture with
Nice.
the awkward arms.
So
like
that's
that.
sister Felicia, brother Dylan.
Yep.
Go ahead, Benny. Moving on forward. There they are again. This is at the national championships.
Yep.
There's sister. And
That's a remake from a high school
stop
picture.
that one right there, Benny. Go back. No, yeah, that one. There you go. What about this one?
I mean, it's just biggest
That's the
support
family.
system. That's the family. That's oh, you guys are gonna get me emotional.
That's the bracket too, right? In
That's
front of you.
yeah. That's the bracket you get after you win. So
That's awesome. Keep going, Benny.
yeah, they came out.
All right, stop. What's this? What year?
Oh, it's back in the day. That was me mean mugging in at Reno Worlds.
Reno World. All right, Benny, go ahead. Oh, there you go. How old are you there?
I think I was 4 or 5. That was my first year of wrestling.
First year of wrestling.
Those shoes we still have too. Those are at
Go ahead,
my
Benny.
house.
Stop it there.
That's Reese's Tournament of Champions. We called ourselves the Fab Five. That's Hayden Maley. He was a 4-time state champ for Roseburg on the far left. Went on to wrestle for Stanford. He's Fargo champion. He's just an animal. And that's me. That's Bennett Mesa. Probably one of the most successful wrestlers to not want to wrestle in college. I mean, that guy was just naturally gifted. He was my drill partner. He beat me up every single day in the room. Those guys were all a year ahead of me. He was a 3-time state champion in high school and had offers from you name it, and he just
didn't
he's
want
like,
to do it. Huh?
I'm done. Next to him, that's Lane Van Anroy. He was also a 4-time state champ from Roseburg.
Wow.
He's a mean guy. He's people were very scared to have to wrestle him. Kyle actually had to wrestle him once. I know you have him coming on your show later.
Yeah.
You should ask him how that one went.
All right, I will.
And then on the far right, that's Austin Harris, who's actually now an assistant coach at Life University.
wow.
So it was awesome. I got to catch up with him.
So wait, you had 5 research champions on one team?
5 champions, 6 finalists.
Oh my goodness,
6 finalists
man.
that year.
Wow.
That was my
That's
junior year.
crazy. All right, Benny, keep them moving. Another one from when you
Another
were
one,
younger.
little kid. Yep.
Little kid with the Popeye singlet.
Yeah.
Some
That's
more.
middle school. Oh my goodness.
Bringing back some memories,
That's that
huh?
kid from Marshfield I was telling you about that kicked my butt.
That one there?
He used to beat me all the time.
Where's that at?
That was after that tournament in Utah. That was when I was in the finals. I ended up actually getting 3rd, even though I was in the finals.
How does that happen?
So they do the true second.
Oh, they do? So you got to wrestle the...
So I lost in the finals, wrestled true second. Get this, for anybody that follows wrestling, my true second match was against a kid named Ridge Lovett, who now
I know that name.
wrestles for Nebraska. He was the #1 ranked kid at 149 pounds. He's from Post Falls, Idaho. He was a national finalist, and my money's on him to win it all this year at 49 at D1s.
Wow. All right, Benny.
That's Reno Worlds.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's I think that was a tournament in Corvallis at Oregon State. That's Rhett Martin. He's a little kid. That's
Go ahead, Benny. Yeah, there you
that's
go.
my girlfriend. That was a picture we took at Nationals.
Nice. Keep going. Stop right here. All right, go ahead. I've seen other wrestlers make like EOU wrestlers with this similar style picture. Explain it.
I think Marco is
Exactly
the one
who started
that
it.
started the trend. You use the fisheye lens and you get really close up to them. And, so we were in the airport and I was holding my bracket and they're all just taking all kinds of pictures of it. And so it's
All
a
right,
pretty
Benny.
funny looking one.
Next one. Stop right there.
Oh jeez.
I don't know who took this picture. I got it from your girlfriend.
So
But it looks like a picture of the TV.
so it's a picture. So Heather Thorpe, her son wrestles for Sweet Home.
Okay.
They're great family friends. Steve Thorpe's wife, head coach for Sweet Home.
Yeah.
She's amazing. She was there helping take photos for Southern Oregon, and she was also taking pictures of me during my matches, and she was able to catch those ones after. And
Very nice.
get-
And that's
get emotional.
the
That was it,
championship
man. That
match.
was the moment.
that was my semifinals.
Oh, that
Okay.
which I mean, the semifinals had to have been just as emotional,
That was
or even more, maybe.
yeah. I think in the fashion that it was won, it created a lot more just emotions. Getting that revenge from my previous finals loss was amazing, and there was a portion right before we went in that last 30 seconds on the mat. I just said a quick prayer. I was like, hope you got me, Jesus.
Yeah.
Let's do this, and it happened. I mean, just
All right, Benny.
Pointing up
Keep
and-
them moving. That's the podium.
that's the podium picture.
Which
yep.
is the exact same for 1 and 2. I mean, you wrestled the same guy in conference finals.
Yep.
The Menlo guy, Garcia, right?
Aguiar.
Aguiar.
Nick
that's
Aguiar.
right, yeah.
Yep.
Keep moving, Benny. Okay,
That-
right there. That one. Stop. Luca and you.
Yeah. That I just
Who took that picture?
same. That was Heather Thorpe.
I love
she,
that
She
picture.
took that photo. Yeah. I mean, just I can't explain it. Just all my thanks to Jesus and
It shows right there.
yeah. I mean, I just was so thankful. I mean, I was crying. It finally happened, and
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good one.
That's a great one. Benny, keep going.
That was at the second day. It was either right after my conference championships or the day before. So I had actually we found out later I didn't, but the night before conferences, we were pretty confident. I had subluxed my hip. So basically, it popped out of socket in practice and then popped back in
Oh man.
the night before conferences. And so, shout out to Hillary, Katie, and Chris. Our trainers. They took care of me. If I wasn't on the mat, I was in the training room with heat, stem, just doing whatever I could to kind of calm it down.
Nice.
Turns out it ended up just being IT band popping syndrome. So my IT band just rolled over and kind of snapped over
Makes
my
that noise.
yeah, and so it hurt pretty bad, but luckily I didn't dislocate anything.
Okay,
so.
Benny, keep going.
Oh jeez,
What's that?
that was I think it was elementary or middle school. That was nerd day.
Yeah,
so I was dressed up.
It looks like just a normal day.
Yeah, hey, school's important.
Yeah.
Won't be anything without school. So.
Keep going, Benny. What do we got here?
Oh,
That's got to
so-
be the dentist.
so my girlfriend's a dental assistant.
Oh man.
Oh.
A couple years ago, I broke half of my molar off. It ended up getting not great. The nerve died and everything. So at some point soon, I'm actually probably going to have to get a root canal. But I hate the dentist.
So do I.
I am terrified of the dentist. But she convinced me to come in. She's like, just let him take x-rays, let him look at it, just so we can decide what to do. And so she got a picture of me with my glasses, and
Nice.
yeah.
Keep going, Benny.
That was at one of my best friends, Isaiah Lepre. That was his wedding. I was the best man at the wedding. Him and his wife Jocelyn. They're back home in Roseburg. They're, just another part of the amazing support system. That's me and my girlfriend Carly on the dance floor, kind of cutting it up. So
Love it. Keep going, Benny.
that is.
Hey, explain this.
Was that from him?
No, that was from her.
That was from my mom.
No, that was from your girlfriend.
That was from.
Go ahead, explain it.
So,
I'll explain it for
This
him.
was my freshman year at Cal Poly. I was 133 pounds, and that kid getting his hand raised is none other than EOU's assistant coach, Blake McNall. He kicked my butt in that match, and he has held it over my head ever
Oh, I'm
since.
sure. I'm sure. There's another picture of you guys coming up.
This
Go
is for
ahead.
Blake.
Yeah.
So-
We'll show that when we come back. Go ahead, Benny. Keep going. We'll get to the. Okay,
Oh,
so what
that's
about
Reba.
this one? Go back to that one, Benny.
That's my baby. It's technically my mom's dog, but that is that was one of the first puppies. I really took a loving to. Raised her since she was a little puppy all summer, and she's one of my best friends.
Okay, Benny.
That's my baby.
Keep going. Yep, another
That's my
picture of you
girlfriend.
and Carly.
Yep.
Stop.
My little brother on his graduation day. Yep, that's still crazy to think of. I can't believe he's in college.
Go ahead, Benny. Okay, stop right there.
That was our banquet last year.
For wrestling.
Yep, that's our wrestling banquet at EOU. Those were the awards I got.
Okay, Benny. There should be. Okay.
That's Tega. That's my girlfriend's little Chihuahua.
You're a dog dude then.
I love dogs.
Yeah.
Love dogs. He's
Okay.
a cutie.
Stop right there, Benny. What's that?
That is Missouri Valley last year. That was I won first place and actually got outstanding wrestler of the tournament. I actually don't remember where that big trophy went. I forgot I got that. I
Go
don't
ahead,
know where
Benny.
it's at. That is Sadie. That is my grandparents' dog. We were on a hunting trip out in John Day, driving up to the hunting spot, and we found her in the middle of nowhere, just in a ditch.
Oh, wow.
So we call her Ditch Dog.
Go ahead, Benny.
Ditch dog.
Okay, there's another picture of Hunter.
Yep, coaching. This me and my girlfriend.
Nerding out. Okay, there's the
my
second
gosh.
picture for you. That's Blake again.
That's Blake.
He's even looking at the camera,
No,
man.
dude. that's-
You know I had to throw in a couple, Okay, Benny. Is that all of them? Yeah, that's all of them. Well, so, that's just you, kind of in a nutshell.
Yeah.
But there's another part of this. Yesterday on my story on Instagram, I'm sure you saw, I asked people to ask you some questions, which is good because right now Facebook's down, Instagram's down. So I have some questions from other people for you.
Okay.
This is coming from Erin Redford.
Okay.
She's the assistant coach. She's your roommate's girlfriend.
Yep.
What were you thinking going into the third OT of the semis, down in points, needing to score?
So there's a couple things. It's kind of funny. So we actually had worked that whole previous week in practice. We did situations about the ultimate rideout situations.
Yeah.
So when it comes down to that, you have the 2-minute overtime, and it's sudden victory. If it's a takedown, match is over. Then it goes into 2 rideouts. You get 2 30-second periods where each person gets a choice. So he ended up deferring. I chose down. He ended up riding me out the entire 30 seconds.
Which means he couldn't escape.
Yep,
He
so I didn't get my
an
escape point, which
Yeah.
means he gets 30 seconds of riding time.
Right.
So in that overtime, what happens is if the score is still tied, so say I do get away, I get my escape, he goes down, he gets his escape, whoever has the most riding time at the end of it wins the match.
Yep.
So he ended up riding me out for the whole 30 seconds. I didn't get away, so he had 30 seconds riding time. He chose down. which meant the score was 1-1 still. If he gets away,
It's over.
I have the rest of that period to try to take him down.
That's right. Yeah. So you can go down a point.
So what happened? So we said previously he was my finals match the year before.
Yep.
The reason I lost that match was there was about 14 seconds left. I took him down late in the rounds. He had, I think he had like a minute something of riding time, like a minute 7, whatever, of riding time. All I had to do in that match to win was to ride him out for the last 15 seconds, and I couldn't do it. He ended up getting an escape with a minute and 2 seconds of riding time or something like that. He ended up winning the match because I was not able to ride him
About
out.
like 7 seconds of
Yep.
riding time or something.
So it was almost a deja vu situation, and I had to ride him out for that whole 30 seconds or I would lose. And so, like I said, we had trained this, and jokingly I told Coach Azure, I was like, I never end up in this position. I don't think I've had an overtime match ever in my life. So I was like, I guess it's good to go over it. I was like, I'm never going to end up here.
And you did.
Sure enough, semifinals. And so my strategy actually going into it would have lost me the match, looking back. So my strategy was he had a stall call on him. I was like, I'm just going to let him up. If I come at him for 30 seconds trying to get
He's
a
gonna
takedown,
stall.
I'll get that stalling point. But if I get the stalling point, it still would have made the match. It would have made the match tied 2-2. He would have won with the 30
On
seconds.
30 seconds of riding time.
So I didn't calculate that when I was on the mat.
That's why you got coaches.
Yeah, I know. And there was a good portion. There was a challenge at the end of his ride out. They thought I got a reversal. We were challenging it's called a drop down. It's kind of a complicated thing. But right before they started it, there was a point where the table help was still trying to get the clock going, and so wait, and I looked at Coach, and he's like, "What do you think?" And I looked at him. I told him, I was like, "I'll get him. You can hear me audibly in the match." I was like, "I'll get him." And so I looked at the ref. I said both up, and it was just had to go pedal to the metal, just stay in his face the whole time, and there's a joke.
You can hear him. The coach is yelling, "Watch the sweep!
Watch the sweep.
Watch the sweep on the video."
They've watched a lot of film on me. I
Yeah,
wrestled.
they knew what you were going to do, and they couldn't stop it.
And ended up still finding my sweep single with about 10 seconds left, and got it done.
And that's the dude that beat you in the finals last year.
Yep.
That's awesome. All right, here's another one. This comes from your brother, Dylan.
Okay.
Who'd win in a match between you and him? That's a dumb question.
Not even gonna answer it.
There you go, Dylan. There's your
He
answer.
knows.
Does Whip It Real Good bring up any memories?
That's got to be from my aunt.
That's from Felicia.
From Felicia. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's a joke with my aunt though. So we were crabbing out in I think we were in Charleston. We were just crabbing on the docks, and I found this really long piece of kelp.
Yeah, like those tubes.
And big long tubes, and I was swinging it around like a lasso, and people were videoing me, and there's the big pillars on the end of the docks, and I'm swinging around, and my aunt, she's like, I was kind of like pretending like it was a whip, she goes, "Whip it real good," and I do it, and when I go to whip the pillar, the thing catches me in the back of the head.
Just cracked you.
It just snapped me in the back, and I just sitting there hurting. So there's a pretty good video somewhere on the internet of me whipping myself in the back of the head with a piece of kelp.
Favorite Pokemon card that you've ever pulled?
Oh, so this was recently, which hilariously enough, we went to Walmart the night after I won my semis. It was me, Marco, Kyle, and myself. So me, my roommate Kobe Olsen, and Kyle were very into Pokemon. We collect Pokemon cards. We play a lot of Pokemon, and me and Kyle actually went and bought cards on Saturday night while we were in Kansas, just cause.
Yeah.
But I bought a pack, and I pulled a, I don't know if anybody's gonna know what this means, but it was a shiny G-Max Charizard, which is a very, very expensive card.
Like you're gonna send it off and get it graded.
I probably will. Right now, it's in a case in a stand that's sitting on my dresser.
Nice,
So
nice.
it was a pretty.
And that was
sweet card.
Kobe that asked that.
Yeah.
What does maximum effort mean to you?
So we in Pocatello 1 year it's a freestyle Greco tournament, dual tournament. We had our theme, our singlets were Deadpool, and if anybody's seen the movie Deadpool, anytime he's getting ready to do a fight or any fight scene, he just kind of stretches and he goes, all right, maximum effort, and so that was kind of our running joke in Pocatello. Well, now before every match, right before I step on the mat, just kind of get loose, look at coach. I give him a smile, smack his hand. I'm like, all right, maximum effort, and walk out and wrestle. So
Nice. And then this one's funny because this is what like opened the door for me to ask Carly about like pictures and stuff. But she didn't know I knew who she was. I know who she is. So you post on Instagram all the time, and she said her question was, "Do you have a girlfriend?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, this sounds like a setup to me.
So, yes, I have a girlfriend. She is the most beautiful girl in. I'm kidding. No.
I just said this sounds like a setup. Like,
I
just
do.
joking with her, And then she's like, "Well, I am his girl." I was like, "I know you're his girlfriend." Like,
Yeah,
I've
I have a girlfriend, Carly Arnold. She's amazing. She's been with me through a lot of ups and downs. We've been through a lot together just in the past just under 2 years we've been dating, and I mean, yeah, she's
Awesome.
amazing. So I've been blessed with an amazing girl to have by my side.
And then this final question comes from D Sparks. I don't know who that is.
Probably my dad.
Yeah, okay. If you weren't in the bracket at Nationals, who wins?
I think Aguiar wins that bracket.
The 13 seed
Yeah,
or 11 or whatever
he was
it
a
was.
13.
He's in the finals with you.
Yeah, he's a stud. I mean, that whole bracket,
Tough.
it was a tough bracket, but after wrestling him in the conference finals, we had a quick chat afterwards. I told him we were both Clackamas alumni. I told him, I was like, it's you or me. It's gonna be you or me standing at the top of the podium at Nationals. I was like, no other way. Like, we'll bring it home for Clackamas, bring it home for the West Coast, and I actually told Azure after that match too. I told him, I was like, that was my finals match. I was like, I guarantee you, and sure enough.
So that means you were rooting for him too.
Yeah.
If you're not in the bracket.
He's a great kid. I mean, it's hard though. I got a chance throughout the tournament to sit with Aiden Reeves. He was the #1 seed. Ended up losing pretty early in the tournament. I got to have a couple chats with him, and I mean, he's such an amazing guy too. We had a couple good spiritual talks. Just a really, really friendly, down to earth guy. But I mean, at the same time, I mean, Orem too. I mean, he was one of my really good buddies when I was at Life.
Defending national
the
champion
defending
as
national
well.
champ.
Wasn't supposed to wrestle this year.
No, didn't announce that he was coming out until January.
Which is crazy.
he-
That's a month before. You know what I mean? Like,
And I talked to him. He's like, I just got the itch. They needed a 25-pounder, and I still had a year of eligibility, so he did it.
so let me ask you this: when it comes to the rankings, when you drop down to 3, we won't get into the politics of it. It doesn't matter. Your only loss all year was to a D1 kid. The rankings come out, and you're 3rd. Mentally, it had to have affected you?
I think it did positively.
Yeah. Tell me.
I'd been meeting with one of my pastors from back home in Roseburg. We were just having a lot of talks, a lot of spiritual talks, mainly just kind of navigating through the anxiety and doubts. There's a lot of it all comes from myself. There's a lot of pressure, especially when I was at that #1 spot. I believed I should be there, and that's where I was, but there was most of that pressure, like, okay, I don't want to lose this ranking. I need to stay #1, and I was putting some unnecessary pressure on myself, and so going down to 3 actually kind of let that pressure go a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was fuel because I believe I was #1, I knew in my heart I was number one, and having people disagree with that, and having somebody to try to basically kind of prove wrong, and so that was
So
kind
it was
of
a combination of relief and motivation.
and motivation. Yeah, it was interesting.
So I have a question here, and this is, so I mean, being a Christian is a big part of who you are. I am also, and wrestled in high school. Nothing like what you did, but I've always found that it's, you know, even in business, it's hard to align. And there's a question here that's personal for you, and that is, with business, it's hard to figure out, because business is like wrestling in the sense of you're there to win. You're there. I mean, it's business. You know, wrestling is wrestling. So how do you be competitive and hard, and mix that with Christianity so much to your core? I mean, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, because wrestling's an aggressive sport.
Absolutely.
I mean,
right. Yeah.
But I think it's well, I got to find the word for it. I think, I guess right now, it's kind of like common knowledge. Like, everybody knows, like, once you step on the mat and the ankle bands, you know,
Right.
you strap it and you shake hands, like, there's no friends. Like,
Right.
it's,
Okay.
like you're saying,
Yeah.
it's business.
Right.
Even if you're wrestling a team.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
It's you know, it's a fight, and it's tough. But I think the biggest way, I mean, especially this, I prayed for it too. I've journaled about it. Like, you know, I want this because it's my goal, but like, I want to use this opportunity to share the gospel and to be able to share the good news. And so just trying to find any time I can to bring it up and talk about it, and just really use the talent and the opportunities that he's given me to glorify him instead, I
Right.
think is the biggest thing. And then, I mean, you mentioned it, like, wrestling is just, it's, no matter what, it's just such a big family sport.
Right.
And so off the mat, I mean, I can't even count how many conversations I had with so many different people, and people from random schools, like, hey, good job, you know,
Right.
good job. And it's just, there's such a good camaraderie and brotherhood. And I think, I personally believe that Christianity is kind of the root of all that. Because, I mean, you gotta have something to believe in.
Right.
In order to be able to chase those goals, and you know, Christianity's that's what I found, and it's just yeah. I mean, it's amazing. Like, I can't explain it. It's just,
So on this road to where you are, you've had some hard losses.
yeah.
So how did being a believer, how did that help you through those times?
It was working towards becoming a believer. I think that was the biggest thing. When I got to college, I was a knucklehead, and I was in some pretty low places just mentally as well. And really, I mean, I was more of a lukewarm Christian. As, like, somebody asked me, like, oh yeah, you know, I'm Christian. I never read the Bible. I didn't really go to church, and and that's kind of why coming here was just a huge step in my life. Was, you know, we have FCA here. You got Nate, Josie, Braden, Naomi, Maya. They're all FCA leaders, and
We've had Josie on the show before.
and they're all athletes as well. And it's just finding that camaraderie, and finding those like-minded individuals who know that athletics are fun and everything, but chasing that spiritual crown is the end goal, and that's what's going to carry you through life. Yeah. Like, being able to find people who really have that relationship, and surrounding myself with that was that was huge for me, and it gave me a lot of peace to be able to compete and not really worry about what happens, I guess.
Awesome. Well, and before I toss it back to Kyle, you held up this earlier in a response to Parker?
To Blake.
To Blake, yeah. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just give him a little
It's almost like
trouble.
it was meant to be that you end up here in LeGrand. The strength of Christianity in the athletes, especially in the wrestling room, all the way down. I mean, you look at the high school kids. It's very well known. You know what I mean? Like they're all, and then you look up at the room at EOU, very well known, and it's almost like it was like destiny.
I mean, it's part of his plan. I fully believe. I mean, he's gotten it written out, and people have asked me like, oh, like, do you regret going to Cal Poly, or do you regret going to Life? And like, I have zero regrets with the path that I've had. It's been very tough at times. It's hard, but I mean, you got to hit the bottoms, like I said, to reach those tops, and that's where you truly grow as an individual. And so, yeah, I mean, I think, and obviously it's a lot easier to realize looking back. Hindsight's always 20/20. But just seeing everything that I've gone through and what the Lord has tested me with to finally get this and achieve that goal that I've been wanting for so long is just, he knew it was going to happen. He had it planned up. And so, I can't thank him enough.
Absolutely. Well, that path led him to the 2024 125-pound national champion.
Yeah.
And also the outstanding wrestler in the NAI. People don't understand. Like, that's talking about the whole country, and that's for the whole year. I mean, that's the most outstanding wrestler, any weight, in the country, Hunter Sparks.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So those are those two plaques, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So
hold those up.
Sure.
Okay,
Sure,
which is
man.
good. I was hoping to show this because I got a question for anybody watching. So this was the outstanding wrestler plaque that I ended up getting awarded with. It was pretty awesome. I not expected. I didn't even know it was an award. They gave out an outstanding wrestler of the tournament, which ended up going to the kid that won it at 141 pounds. I mean, hats off to him. I think he was like a 15 seed. Ended up winning the national tournament. But then they announced, and now the award for wrestler of the year. We were like, oh, and when they said Eastern Oregon,
You
I
were
was
just
like,
like, oh,
my gosh.
man. Yeah. I know what you're going to ask about this one.
Yeah. So
Anybody can fix this for my guy? Look
Yeah.
at this.
So I don't know if you can see. I threw it in my bag with the other plaque, and it got scratched up pretty darn good. And this wasn't even an hour after the tournament. I took it out of my bag and went, oh, shit.
There's got to be somebody that can buff
If
that
anybody
out.
knows how to buff this out and can polish
Send
this
a
up for me,
message.
that would be amazing because, I screwed up pretty bad.
That's awesome, man. Well,
Yeah, so now what? I mean, so where do you go from here?
Start chasing the next goal. So as of right now, I'd love to coach somewhere.
Okay.
My plan as of right now, and obviously, taking everything one day at a time. But I plan to go. I got accepted and admitted to a grad school in Portland for my doctor in chiropractic and my master's in sports medicine.
Oh, wow.
So the next goal is going to be completing that program, getting my doctorate basically, and so that's the next big goal is grad school, and then for anybody listening, I'm hopefully finding a coaching opportunity out there. I know Clackamas is in the area.
Yeah.
I'm pretty close with Sanchez there, and so I've thought about maybe seeing if they'd pick me up as an assistant. There's a couple high schools in the area I've worked with, Newburgh High School, Westland. I'm pretty familiar with a lot of the guys there, Coach Russo, Coach Keeney. So maybe do a high school assistant or do all-phase mat club. I coached there a little bit when I was at Clackamas. So there's lots of
plenty of opportunities.
of opportunities, and hopefully I can find a place where I can definitely continue to stay in the sport. I can't not be a part of wrestling. It's not competing is going to be interesting. I'm officially retired now.
He put his shoes in the middle of the mat.
I took my shoes off, put them in the center of the mat.
That means you're done.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm retired from competing, finish out on top, but I plan
Good way to go out.
be coaching for a while. So
Awesome.
wherever that may be.
Wow. Well, thanks for being here this morning.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me
appreciate
on.
it,
Yeah.
It's been fun to kind of follow your journey, man. Like I had you on early when you got, and a few times. Actually, I think you've been on my show more than any other EOU athlete.
Really?
Yeah, and I've probably had 150, 200 athletes on. I don't usually have people on multiple times, but you keep doing these amazing things. You know what I mean? So it's like, and you're a national champion. The other national champions since I've been doing my sports show, there's only been two, you and TJ Davis. And that's it. No teams, just two individual national champions. And I mean, you're the first national champion in wrestling since '66, since wrestling was brought back, right?
69.
69.
And then since the
it was what?
reinstatement.
Schimmel and there's been three. Yeah.
Schimmel, Woodward, and now me. So
Yeah, you're the
number
third
3.
ever. And the first since wrestling's come back.
Yep.
And Azure's first national champion as well.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Which is awesome, dude. Yeah.
That's
we appreciate you.
it's a fun experience to share with them.
Well, hey, you want to get us out here?
Let's do it.
All right.
On this day, what is today? The 5th.
5th.
On this day, 1558, smoking tobacco was introduced into Europe for the very first time.
58?
1558.
Wow.
1770 on this day, something very important happened. What happened in 1770? Anything in your brain? It was huge.
1770.
Yep.
Well, it was before the Revolution, right? 1770. So, I don't know, Boston Tea Party.
Boston Massacre.
Boston Massacre. Okay.
Close.
Interesting.
1836, Samuel Colt Patent Arms Company manufactures the first pistol. It's a 36 caliber Texas model in Patterson, New Jersey.
What year again?
1836.
Okay.
And then we'll jump all the way to 2002. The show The Osbournes premieres on MTV, which that show was actually kind of funny. I mean, Ozzy's like, they're just an oddball, British family that was pretty fun to watch. And then in 2019, Kylie Jenner is the world's youngest ever billionaire at 21.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and she, what did she do to make $1 billion?
Somebody told me that it was a lip gloss.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
It was like some
Yeah.
makeup.
Yep.
The #1 movie in America on this day in 2004, Passion of the Christ. The quote of the day comes from Socrates, and I did a wrestling one again.
Socrates.
Or Socrates, whatever.
That's
I
all right.
don't know. I don't know. And it says, I swear it upon Zeus, an outstanding runner cannot be the equal of an average wrestler. I love that.
That's-
I did that just for Benny and for you, because Benny's a runner, our producer, and you're a wrestler. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to kill this.
Oldest.
And then I
oldest
call him
sport.
Socrates.
Yeah, let me see that. Let me see that quote again. What was it again? I missed it. Yeah.
I swear it upon Zeus, an outstanding runner cannot be the equal of an average wrestler. That's it, man. Once again, national champion, 125 pounds, Hunter Sparks. We appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thanks for
Awesome.
having me on, guys.
Yeah. So are you going to gain weight now?
We've
I mean,
joked
what
about
is
it.
your
You're
what
gonna
is your
eat.
what is your regular weight?
Well, since the first time I made 25 last year, the cut was a little hard. I was probably about 37, 38.
Okay.
But over the summer, I kept my weight pretty low, and I mean, after a good couple nights of celebrating, I stepped on the scale before I went to bed last night, and I was only like 133.
Wow.
So I probably won't gain weight for a while.
You'll stay like right
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
135.
Well, good for you.
Awesome.
Hey, and nice to meet you. Glad you're here. Yeah.
Once again, appreciate everybody for tuning in. We'll see you guys on Thursday.
See you soon.